In the fall of 21, I was very frustrated. I felt like there were a lot of mean people around, and they were doing and saying mean things, and I didn't know how to respond to them in a way that was going to be consistent with Christ's teachings, because normally what we're told is just be nice. And I had come to the conclusion that just be nice was completely inadequate as advice. And so I started asking what happened when there was mean people around Christ, because he had mean people. He had people playing gotcha games. He had people laying traps. There was all kinds of very unpleasant social interactions that he had to navigate. And we know that he did in a perfect kind of way. So I started going through the New Testament. I just started in Matthew in a verse by verse kind of way. And I would write down who he's talking to and what is his relationship to them. And then I would write down um, what the interaction was, and then excuse me, and then if I had some thoughts about it, I would put those in as well. And I decided to use some colors to mark the different things, because otherwise it becomes a very large hunk of text very quickly. And so this has been a study that since that I've had going on. I started shortly after General Conference in October of 21, and have had going on a slow burn ever since. Sometimes when I am reading, I will come along to verses that are difficult. Like in this particular case, this is one that a lot of people struggle with. Be ye therefore perfect, even as your Father in heaven is perfect. That one gets a lot of conversation and discussion. So I went to Bible Hub, and pulled. I really like Bible Hub. A lot of of clarity comes from looking at all of the different the different translations. They're usually in very close harmony, but because of translation decisions that just have to be made, you'll often have two or three different senses that the words are used in. So I have a couple pages where I have looked up other translations besides just the King James or the Joseph Smith translation. Sometimes in my notebook, I will end up with quotes that help me to understand a little bit better what's going on. And this is my scripture journal. This is an older one, because this has been going on for 3 years. So when I hit the bottom of the page, I'll just flip to the first blank page in my notebook and carry on writing writing out the scriptures, and thinking about the different interactions that that the Lord is having as he's doing, as I'm reading the different things. And so this format has been one that has worked really well for me. Usually the quotes are conference quotes and things like that. Sometimes as time has gone on, this is my current scripture journal. I've made it clear into, I think I'm in Matthew 15 all the way. back here in the current area. But sometimes I'll have quotes from books. Here, this is with the parables that he's telling the apostles. The kingdom of heaven is like unto a merchant man seeking goodly pearls, who, when he had found one pearl of great price, went and sold all that he had and bought it. And that reminded me, I had just recently read Winter Smith by Terry Pratchett, and Tiffany, at one point, she's made a mistake, and she's going to fix it, and doing so could come at a significant personal cost, and she chooses to do it. This I choose to do, and that really seemed a lot like selling all you have. Um, and sometimes I'll copy things from the internet. Um, yeah, and let's see. This one goes to page 9. And it's got a little bit more space now as I've gone along, so that it's not quite such a dense text block as it was there at the beginning. But in the process of doing this, in the process of doing this study, I have learned a lot about how Christ dealt with people, and it really depends a great deal on where the people were at. Like, he is infinitely patient with real seekers, however slow they are at getting it. He answers all the questions, and he just doesn't mind taking the time. But if you come at him with a gotcha, or when the Pharisees would lay traps for him and the scribes, he's really, really blunt. He pulls no punches. He sugarcoats absolutely nothing, which, when I got thinking about it, makes a great deal of sense, because to sugarcoat something is to coat it in a lie to make it go down easier. And that's not... He's perfectly honest. And so it's been really interesting to me to try and, like, it's not a popular way of doing things to just lay it out there, when it needs to be laid out, and and to just say it how it is. But when we're following the Lord's example, sometimes that's the job.